Hey guys, welcome back to episode 3 of the Jason Daniel podcast. I know it's been a little while before I've jumped on and had a chat and brought someone on the show. I've kind of been trying to figure out how to shape the next podcast, and I thought what a better way than to talk from someone in our own team at LSKD. Dylan Osborne, our design manager. He's an overall all-round legend. He's been a huge part of the brand from pretty much the early days from when it started with the creative direction. He's actually left the company, then come back, so he'll probably chat about that. He's been a massive part to play with the LSKD direction from LKI to LSKD, which we'll chat a little bit about. But I won't talk too much. I'll introduce him. Welcome, Dill. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. How are you?
Good, brother. Good. It's Friday Arvo, and we're finally jumping on this thing.
Yeah, I've been talking about it for a while, but actually trying to find a time where we can both sit down and do it.
I know, and stay a little focused for a good half an hour.
Yeah, exactly. It's always go. So pulling up for a few minutes isn't always as easy as you'd think.
100%. And I suppose, Dill, so I'll get straight into it, but I think the first thing, I'm personally interested in, again, because feels like a little while ago, is, I mean, how did you get into this role at LSKD, and where did you start, and where is it growing to?
Well, it was around 2011 when I first started here. So I just finished my degree up at Queensland College of Art at South Bank in Brisbane, and I think that was around November 2011. So I pretty much just graduated, I think. And yeah, I think I just came in here on a Friday afternoon or something. I might have been here to pick up some caps or teas. I have no idea. I don't really remember, but kind of just stopped in the office, and I think it was just you, Scotty, maybe Marissa at that time. So it was a pretty small team. There was only a few people floating around.
I think even Scott was part-time. I think it was 2.5 of us back then working.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know at the time, but that was real early days. Like we'd only just moved into this office here at that time, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was an empty shell for quite a while.
Yeah. So I walked in, and we were just got to talking, and you didn't realise that I'd been doing that degree and just finished. And I just from basically just you guys needed some help in design. Like Scotty was here, but he was getting pretty busy, starting to deal with offshore stuff with China and whatnot. So
yeah, that was when we just started dealing with China and learning that. And I actually didn't even know what your role entailed then. We kind of made it up at the time.
I was literally just coming in. I think maybe a day a week. I think by Christmas time, so in the space of maybe a month, I was here nearly 5 days a week. And then in the new year, I'm pretty sure I came on full time. And the rest is history, I guess. From there, it was, started out just graphic design work, which is, that's what I studied to do. Like originally in uni, I never really had any plans of working for a clothing company, because they don't really talk to you about that in uni. It's not really, at least back then anyway, it wasn't really sort of shown as an option. It was kind of they were gearing everyone up to start work in, big graphic design studios, big corporate, on big corporate jobs, working for, doing rebrands and, annual reports and all that sort of stuff. So, obviously didn't really have any, I had a passion for clothing, but didn't really think of it as a career opportunity. But then slotted in here and started, working on catalogs and things like that. But then pretty quickly I was, just starting to develop product and kind of just learning on the fly, really.
Yep. As we all did in the early days.
Yeah.
We just had to throw ourselves in the deep end and go for it.
Yeah, and then basically the first maybe 12 months or so was literally just, as you said, it was such a young team back then that, you guys had just sort of started dealing with that offshore manufacturing side of things. So I was here for all that, and I was literally just learning on the fly, like teaching myself, going home at night, researching how to do some of the stuff, because, obviously I knew all the design side of things, but as far as actually getting products manufactured, that's a whole nother thing, and just sort of grew a passion for it from there. And now I'd say that's the majority of my day is spent, developing product now. So, and
to give a little understanding around when we develop product, I mean, what does developing product entail? Like, what do you do when you actually develop a product? I mean, I know this,
talk about the process.
Yeah, like what's the process when you're developing a product from start to finish almost?
Well, I guess from the start, it's very first step for us is always research. So we want to make sure that when we're going to develop a product that we know the market, we know where the trends are going, that sort of thing, especially now in this day and age where the trends are changing, so quickly.
Yeah.
You got to be really onto that. So, we'll start with some research and development. That'll be online. We might go into store. We might even do a research trip, go somewhere overseas, check that out. We'll start doing some research. We'll collate all our research, and pretty quickly we'll start, doing some design concepts. So, might start with a few sketches, but pretty quickly we're jumping on the computer straight away, really, and designing products. We'll probably design, it's hard to say an exact number, but we'll design a lot more products than what we actually ever sort of anticipate making. So we actually have like archives of just products that have been designed but never actually make it to production, because we can design a lot of stuff. It doesn't mean we're going to make all of it. So we'll do that. We'll go through that process.
And it's something I think we do a lot that you probably didn't mention, is we talk to a lot of our customers, and we've started a focus group and really working with our not only our fans but our internal community as an office here, and we all work together to how we're going to develop that product to the market as well. I think that's a big thing that...
Yeah, we're definitely taking, putting a really big importance on learning about our customer and about, their wants and their needs. So I think that's, that's super, that's an integral part of product design. Like, if you're designing products, you need to know who the end consumer is and, developing for them. So we've put a massive emphasis in that lately. So, taking all that in, what we've learnt from our customers, from things like focus groups, feedback from, literally people that walk into our office here, we get feedback from them, and then
our customers online.
We start to see sales trends, things that, our customers, you can kind of tell obviously what your customers are liking. So we'll use all of that data and sort of use that as a starting point for any new season development or anything like that.
Yep.
So back to what I was saying before, we develop all, a range of concepts. Then we'll pick them, which is, not the easiest thing to do. It's probably one of the hardest. Process. It's probably one of the hardest parts of the job, really. Because like I said, we have so many products, and we usually only have so many spaces. We develop matrices. So a matrix is basically where myself, you, and then we'll sit down with Scotty, our production manager, and kind of lay out, for a new season anyway, we'll lay out kind of how many products we want to make in each category. So that might be, 10 teas, 5 tanks, etc., whatever it is. So usually we try to work to those sort of numbers. So when we're picking a range, we're picking off those numbers.
Yes.
Yeah. So, picking products, that can sometimes take, we'll probably develop product for 4 to 5 weeks of actually designing, for a new season anyway. And then picking those products can take anywhere from 2 hours to 5 days. It
can take a lot longer because it's something we are passionate about, is to get the product right. And every little piece we bring to market is got to be perfect. So it can get quite lengthy some days. You don't want to overthink it.
And sometimes we'll pick things, and then a few weeks later, after some more thought, we'll make some last minute revisions, which is never ideal, but
it happens sometimes.
We make it work. So from there we'll pick the product, and then the next sort of stage of the process is we have to create tech packs, which are sort of our digital documents that we basically lay out every sort of detail within a product to be able to send that to our factories offshore. And then they interpret that document, and that's what they use basically as a spec to create our products. So, that's a pretty lengthy part of the process as well. So, we'll spend quite a few weeks on that. It takes quite a bit of time. Obviously, the more detailed the product, the longer it is to make one of those tech packs.
Especially on our bottoms and jacketing and the higher development stuff. Yeah,
for sure. Like anything that's new that we haven't done before, that definitely takes a lot more time. And you got to put time into those things, because if you don't, you're just you're wasting time on the other end. Because our factories overseas, they'll get those files, and if you haven't done them right, then you're going to get samples back that look nothing like what you originally anticipated. So, you got to kind of put in the groundwork on our end to make sure that they've got everything they need over there. Yeah. To produce what we want. So yeah, from there we get samples. Anywhere from we'll probably get anywhere from 2 to 5 sets of samples before a customer will actually be buying the product, if that makes sense. So, we'll get first prototype samples. Sometimes they're not right. You've got to go back, ask for another one, make some changes. So yeah, we just keep going. Basically, we get as many samples as we need. To make sure the end product's perfect.
It's a 12-month process sometimes to bringing a seasonal collection to market.
When we start, it's probably even a longer process if you include that sort of initial research stage, because we're starting to research products, for over 12 months in advance. So you
if you're bringing 1 or 2 products out, it's a lot quicker. But when you're doing a collection, to give understanding, we bring out around close to about 150 styles a season, and we do 3 seasons a year. Plus, we have collections drop in between that. So that's where the length comes into it, with such big collections and based around our core lines and injections and different products we're creating. So
like for example, what we're in May right now. So I've just pretty much finishing. We're on the sort of final stages of development for all of our product releases for the first 4 months of next year, 2020. So we've pretty much got product developed right up until April next year. At the moment, we're starting development for product from May to sort of September. We're starting that right now. So, we're definitely operating pretty far out in advance. And then, that's kind of just how it has to be. That's the process. That's how long it takes. But we're also working on, sort of doing some more quick to market stuff now. So, where we might develop something, like come up with an idea. Our aim is to start having product within our warehouse, 30 days to 45 days later. So, that
which
sounds
is really
like
exciting.
Sounds like a long time, but that's pretty quick turnaround, for us.
Especially with our product, it's something that, we don't get to talk about it a lot, is every product we create, there's the size spec, the fabric, say our t-shirt comes in 3 different styles. You got your regular fit, your tad longer fit, and then your box fit. Each product has its own fit, and we've developed that fit for our customer. So it's not just going and buying a basic shirt off the shelf and then throwing a print on it. It has that, everything has its detailing to it that we create for our customer, and we've learnt from them, and we want to create something that we love to chase the vibe in. So, that's everything has a process.
A couple of years ago, myself and my fiance, we built a house, and I remember, some of the plans for that house were less pages than what one of our tech packs are to create a jacket. So, there's a lot of detail that goes into these things, from internal labels, fabric, stitching, trims, prints, colors, specs, everything. I think I was working on a tech pack the other day that might have been between 30 and 40 pages long.
It's mental.
Yeah, so it's there's definitely a lot that goes into the product that the customer ends up getting, and they probably don't realize that. But I
have to take a look at that tech pack because I actually haven't seen it. So I don't get to see them all. It's a big process.
If you don't know what you're looking at, it could be a little bit confusing. But and
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know everything. So some of the stuff I won't even understand.
So that's sort of the process from sort of design, research all the way through to when we launch a product for the customers.
And I mean, we're actually going to China in a week and a half. So we're taking a trip there. The 3 of us are going there on a product development trip. What does a quick trip at China entail when we're there, to give an idea when we're traveling to China for a week?
We're only there for 5 days, so that a lot. We got to try fit a lot in there, but we'll visit some of our suppliers. Try to learn a little bit more about them, about their processes. Also, just meeting the people there. We haven't met everyone at some of these places. Some of the factories we've been working with for a long time, so we know a lot of the people there. But sometimes we'll start working with the new factory, and it's always good to go over there, introduce yourself, and see. meet the people and actually get to know them a little bit as well.
I mean, we become friends with a lot of them too. Like they actually become like they become part of the furniture, but they're just not in our office.
For me, myself and Scott and, some of the other team here, like we're emailing them back and forth 24/7. So, they're sending us emails at 10 o'clock at night. Like, we're in quite a bit of contact with them. So having a good relationship with them is pretty critical.
Super key.
Yeah.
I mean, I know this trip we're visiting our denim supplier and one of our clothing suppliers, and then we get to go to the fabric market, which is going to be an insane trip. We'll be hopefully sharing some photos and a little bit more in detail about that. But yeah, it's going to be a good week, and then we get to check out Macau at the end, so that's going to be fun.
Yeah. We like you said, we're visiting the denim supplier. We're obviously starting to put a lot of emphasis on our denim program at the moment. So developing some new styles, using new treatments, all that sort of stuff. So we're really trying to dive in deep with that, and that's one of the key reasons why we're heading over there.
Which is really exciting because our denim's only growing, and we want to want to be better at it, learn more about it, and it's going to be a good trip. We'll share some photos.
Yeah, it's not 2 weeks away now, so not long at all.
You'll be here before we know it. And I got that triathlon 2 days before, so I hope I can walk.
It's not going to be good. Squished up on that plane for 8 hours. Not for you anyway.
No, it's we'll see how the legs feel.
Yeah.
I mean, with especially with our mission, it's to inspire people to chase the vibe and get out there, and and something we're all passionate about here at LSKD, and we all do something that revolves around, whether it's a sport, whether we have a goal, whether we do something. I mean, what do you get up to out of work? What did you used to do growing up? Like, what's something that that got you into this role as well?
Yeah.
I mean, we used to race motocross together. So.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Most people probably wouldn't realize, but yeah, I used to race motocross. So I was riding bikes from like 4-5 years old. Started racing. Pretty much did that all through my school years. I didn't really stop until I was in university, and sort of even after that, I was still riding for quite a few years. After that, just kind of a bit more recreationally, like still doing some races here and there, but just kind of having fun with the boys. I used to race motocross. Still got a bit of quite a bit of interest in that, even if I don't ride anymore. Lately, I've taken up golf on the weekends.
Nice.
It's a it's actually harder than riding a bike, if you like, for me anyway. It's quite difficult. I'm not very good yet, but keep working on that. It's fun to get out there on the weekend, get a bit of sun, and it's good to challenge yourself with something that you're not initially good at. So other than that, fitness is a big passion of mine. I'm in the gym 6 days a week, most weeks.
Cool. I mean, we all have kind of little competitions going on here because we're all passionate about fitness here.
Well, pretty much everyone here does some sort of fitness. We're a pretty active office, so everyone's into it, in some way, shape, or form. And then, on the weekends, myself and my fiance, we get out and do hikes and go to the beach, just all that normal stuff. We've got 2 big dogs, so spend a bit of time with them and hang out with mates. Do all the normal things,
Yeah, sick. And I think that's one of the big things here that we really want to inspire is to people to get out and and chase the vibe. It's something and we develop product around that. And coming from our background of wheels and water and action sports, it's something I think that we've built over time to really be passionate about. So it's something probably, like you said, we don't talk about enough, but we want to share that we're all in this office doing the same thing, and we're just as passionate. And I mean, can't wait to to get out on a weekend and go for it. And
we've got a bunch of people that surf. We've still got Cal, our digital marketing coordinator. He still races motocross.
He's a pro motocrosser. Okay, well, we all make mistakes, and my SD card filled up and halfway through the podcast. So just to know, this is super real. I've deleted a lot of the content from previous, and now we're back running. So sorry about that, guys. So to kind of get back, I mean, our team and what we get up to, I mean, even down to Amy, that looks after our customer service. She got invited to fly to Italy to race go-karts. Jamie, that's our head of wholesale. Recently, everyone's that kind of knows surfing quite a bit. They had that big swell down the Goldie recently, and he's actually an ex-pro surfer. He doesn't like telling anyone, but he's one of those guys being towed in on that like 15-foot swell from a jet ski and catching those massive bombs. He ended up doing his knee in, but it was mental. So, I mean, yeah, it's a big part of our culture here is, we all love to, do something that, whether it inspires us or we have a goal on the weekend or we're just into something. I think it's a big part of it. And something I kind of wanted to touch on when I mentioned with wholesale is Jamie and Gina look after our wholesale department in the company. And as Dill was talking back before around product development, well, the next stage actually is our wholesale team go out on the road and travel for nearly 4 weeks straight, visiting accounts around Australia, which are our stockists or potential new doors selling the collection. So currently they're out for 4 weeks, which is a massive job right now. So they're getting at it. So they're legends for being out there smashing it and selling our Summer 19 collection. So our Summer 19 collection drops into store October 15th, which we'll have a massive launch for. But right now they're out visiting retailers, our major stockists, and pretty much Jamie is in New South Wales right now. He's in, I think he's in Canberra today, and then Gina's in Melbourne this week, and she's back next week in the office. So yeah, it's a big process, and everyone puts a lot behind the scenes to get a product to market as well. So, but
a lot of people involved.
Yeah, it takes a huge team effort to get a product to market and to our customers. So, I mean, trying to touch back on what we messed up on was with the SD getting full on us. But, I mean, Dill, we touched on before, at the start that, you did leave LSKD, and which was LKI. You left the company for a little bit. I think it was close to 18 months, and then joined the team. I mean, fill in some info of what actually happened and then what you're up to at the brand now.
Yeah, sure. So it was a few years ago now. I think, maybe 2014. Not really too sure. But yeah, I'd been working here for a few years, and then, sort of some other opportunities came up. And so for a bit of time there, I was up at City Beach head office in the city, working in their marketing department as a digital designer. That was, had a lot of fun up there. Team up there is great. Met some really good people, and got to work on some really cool stuff, and then learned heaps of things. And then I was just I was driving home one day and got a call from you, and I picked it up, and so you asked what I was up to, and it turned out that the designer that was currently working here had left, and you were looking for someone to fill that spot. So you asked if I'd come in, have a chat, and then basically sort of the rest is history. Came in and started working as the senior men's designer at that point.
Yep.
I think that was it. Yeah.
Yep. I called you up and said I want you to take it on and take it to the next level.
Yeah.
So come join the team and head this up for me. I want you back.
Yeah. So that was about, I think that was October 2016. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then ever since then it's been pretty full on. A lot of change has gone on. And been a part of some pretty big things that we've been doing.
Yeah, which I mean brings up with that we spoke about at the start as well with LKI to LSKD with the new logo and where we've kind of where we're taking it and what we're up to, and Dill actually developed the LSKD logo onto product. It was probably in 2016 actually.
I think initially we started toying around with it like before I'd even left, so it would have been 2014 even, I think.
Yeah.
So it's that whole change that people might not know much about it, I guess, but we recently did change the brand, did a bit of a rebrand from LKI to LSKD. I know it feels like for us it's been going on forever, but we only launched that change
September last year.
Yeah, not even a year ago. So but that sort of started a long time ago. We toyed around with the idea of it. It was never really intended to be a full rebrand, but it kind of sort of naturally progressed that way. And it was kind of just more of a reflection on, the product that we're developing. And it was just almost going back to the roots even more, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
Because the LSKD logo obviously stands for Loose Kids. So, it's even more authentic than
the industries on the end, which was kind of something I slapped on in the early days, and it was something good you touched on. It I really the amount I've learned over the years, what I've learned and the mistakes I've made, and really refined it. It was something that I kind of really wanted to put into play with LSKD and really speak that message and go back to the roots. I personally grew up racing motocross, wanting to become a professional athlete, and And at the same time, you know, I was going to music festivals, partying with the crew, just, you know, pretty much chasing the vibe and creating good times and around sports and, you know, when you're not on the bike. So it was using what we did when we were growing up and really evolving that into now and creating product that we wanted to create. And as you were saying, you know, previously, it's becoming a design-led company and really focusing on that and inspiring people to chase the vibe. And so it's been a lot of learnings over the years for myself, and you know we've jumped into a lot of categories and taken a lot of categories out, which people have seen, where we had gloves and we had life jackets, and we've really just honed down and focused on being the best clothing company and using our mission to inspire people to get out there. And it doesn't mean if you do one thing. I mean, I grew up doing so many different sports, but you know, so I think it's something that it really kind of spoke to me. And at first I was a bit nervous on LSKD when we first put it on a product, personally, but you know, it's funny, the customer, you know, really embraced it. And we spoke to our ambassadors, which we've got ambassadors all over the world, to our customers, to our retailers, and they really embraced LSKD and loved the lockup. It was super clean and fresh. It kind of worked perfect on product. It just tied in really well, and it kind of really made sense. The customer was speaking, and so were our ambassadors. And I was like, if we don't actually make this decision, they're actually making it for us anyway. So let's make this happen, and let's really focus on sending one message. And you know, that's from my learnings over the years of, you know, of trying to build a brand and really go for it, and learning from the people around me and having great mentors and my team. And you know, that we'll dive into that deeper on other podcasts. But yeah, I think it's quite exciting. It's really exciting actually what we're doing and where it's heading, and the brand we're really focused on to create and use our heritage to create what we want to create and keep sending that good message.
Yeah, it was like you said, it was a really long sort of process. It wasn't just something that, you know, happened overnight and was a quick decision. It was something that was thought out over the space of a number of years really before it actually came to be. So
we talked about it for a long time. So
a lot of work went involved to getting it sort of changed over and making sure that we were sort of speaking the right message. But I think, you know, we're constantly refining that day in, day out. Even right now, we're still refining our sort of message and you know, what we're trying to do here. So
especially from a creative direction standpoint, and you know, marketing and our ambassadors and the product we're creating around that for them. I mean, that's, you know, that was kind of the next thing is, you know, what are you up to at the moment? Like, what's your future plans for the brand, and, you know, where you headed next in terms of what's the plans?
Well, obviously, like, product development's still a massive part of my role. Like, you know, it takes up a fair bit of my time, is you know, developing all the new seasons, and, you know, working all, you know, that 13 months in advance or whatever it is that we were sort of talking about before. But so continuing on with that, making sure that we're constantly just bringing the best product to market that we can, and, you know, the most relevant product for our consumers. But more than that, I'm really trying to take a sort of lead role in the overall creative direction of the brand. So, you know, that sort of encompasses so many different things. You know, we've been talking about, you know, some big collaborations with some other really big brands that we, you know, will eventually come out. But, you know, things like that, just, and also, like, I think really, like, I think everyone in the team here at the moment is really focused on building exposure for the brand. I say this all the time, like, there's no point having a great product if no one knows about it. So, we're working really hard on, you know, exposure really.
100%. It's a big conversation at the moment, and finding the right ambassadors. And we have some great ambassadors now we work with the brand, but, you know, it's finding the right ones that really believe in what we stand for, which helps build that exposure. But at the same time, they believe in what we're doing. So it's authentic and organic. It's not just something you sold at the same time. It's a really big talking point, and something we're actually working on every single day. It's marketing.
Constantly.
Marketing.
It never ends.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, that's something I know you've worked on a lot, and, you know, I do appreciate how much creative direction Dill's had behind the scenes and what he's done for this brand. I mean, I'm personally not a designer myself. I've got a huge vision and passion, and it's great to have people around me that have that, you know, obviously great talent that can help bring that to life as well. I mean, Dill, any advice that you could give to anyone, you know, up and coming, you know, either just finished uni, looking to get work experience? I know we have, you know, we've got work experience, people doing, you know, here. I mean, that's pretty much how you started. I mean, anyone you could give advice?
Yeah, biggest piece of advice for me, I think, is just, I guess it's pretty boring advice, but it's practice makes perfect. Like, I'm a much better designer now than what I was, 7 or 10 years ago whenever I started out, because I've just had a lot more experience, really. And you can't sort of, even if you're trying to get a job or whatever, like, you can build experience yourself just by designing, just constantly designing, designing products. If you want to get into a similar industry to what we are, you want to be in fashion or clothing, then just design products that you really like and that you're really passionate about, and maybe send some concepts off to these brands that you'd like to do some work with. And we're more than happy to see stuff that people have, and you never know, like, if it's good and we like it, it fits, you might be here, working with us.
100%. We're always looking for the next generation and passionate people. Like, I think that's a great answer.
Yeah. So that's, my best advice is just keep going.
Get at it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, cool. I mean, have you got anything else that you kind of wanted to touch on, Dill? I mean, it's
not sure. We spoke about all this before, and we realised at the end
that our first big mistake on a podcast.
Yeah,
but we'll be real and authentic, and it happened, and we're moving on.
Yeah. No, not really, man. Like, I'm gonna, after this, I'm gonna get back and keep working on product. That's what we do. So
legend. I mean, thanks everyone for listening. I mean, feel free to ask any questions, DMs, through any kind of social platform. We're across any platform. If you have any questions, we're always learning and want to improve the show. Plus, as a brand at the same time. The next person on the show, we've got a really awesome couple of great guys coming on. But at the same time, I'm going to try and get more of our team on. The next guy is Scotty, our production manager. He doesn't like getting behind the microphone or a camera, and he hides away. So that's a goal we're trying to set in here at LSKD, because he was one of the first employees. He actually was the first employee working part-time to joining, and now, from graphic design all the way to running our production department. And without him, he keeps the wheels turning in production and the product coming. So
yeah, he's pretty valuable, Scotty. I don't know what we'd do if he wasn't here. That's for sure.
Yeah, so we're going to get him on the show. We got to bribe him because he doesn't like getting behind the mic. But
I don't know if you've got enough money. But we'll see.
Cool. Hey, thanks everyone. Thanks, Dill. You're a legend. Appreciate your time. And keep listening. Cheers.
Thank you.